Hello, and welcome back to the I Am Not Godzilla show. So this is basically a bit of an update video. I uploaded this, downloaded, I suppose would be the right word, this editing software for my videos, and as soon as I started to upload my HD video onto it, it just completely, like, not only was, as soon as I started to play it, the audio was far behind. No, the video actually was far behind the audio, and the audio started to slow everything down, and then I couldn't get on Facebook, and my computer just started crashing one program at a time, and I started trying to convert it to .mov. It's actually a different type of video file, sorry. That was going to take 3 hours as well. So for now, I'm going to have to do one-take videos and upload directly from what I do. So there won't be a lot of editing. There may be some ums and ahs and whatnots and silly moments, but that's to be expected. With the plans that I've already got, though, I'm not going to need a whole lot of editing at the moment. Hopefully, I'll be able to spring for something, a new computer or something else so I can handle that amount of video, but until that point, I'm just going to have to go with what I have. On to another thing. One thing that I noticed, and I thought I'd share with you, was one of those moments, I was actually at a shopping mall, but I know this is a moment that happens in tons of places, when you see a parent with their two kids, and the kid is just trying to have fun, trying to be free, and yeah, he's probably stepping out of his boundaries a little, and touching something that he shouldn't, but he's not breaking anything. And I'm thinking, the way that she talks down to him just reminds me of my old childhood, and actually, honestly, most of my teenage years, where I would try to do something and I'd try to have fun, but it was just a little bit out of the norm, and I got talked down to, and that rebellious stage where I wanted to be free, regardless of the consequences. And it's sort of, those moments bother me a little bit, because I feel that inner child on the inside of me just like, hey, like, don't say that, just let him have fun. But at the same time, I know from her point of view, and all of the care and money and whatnot it takes in actually having a child. So I'm a little split, but I do know that probably most of you have had this happen, where you feel like you want to, reach out and help the kid, but I mean, obviously you can. If you actually did, you'd be stepping way out of your right plate. You can't just tell a parent how to do their kid, or talk down to a parent to their kid, because that'll bring up a whole new mess of messages that'll screw with their mind. But I'm wondering, basically, sorry, if any of you have had these moments lately, because I know that this is something that's been happening to me a little less as I grow older, and then I start to get my maturity out and about, and it's starting to grow into myself a little more, and that sort of inner child rebel thing isn't, it's not my main focus and the main part of my mind that controls my thoughts as much as it used to up to probably about 18, 19, which is actually just about 2 years ago. But I don't know, it just struck me as an interesting thought. And I'm sure that those moments when you were young, when I was young, that I tried to break free and rebel and tried to do these things of that I really wanted to do, and every time that I got shot down, that was almost, whether I went through with it then and said, no, screw you, I'm going to do what I want, or whether I boned up and gave in. Those are the moments that really formed me as a person, and I'm pretty sure those are the moments that really made me who I am and who I am today, and this outgoing guy wouldn't have been created if I hadn't been through those issues and through those problems as a child. So it's odd, because obviously everybody at least knows, and when I hear the word everybody knows, and I'm told a fact, at least when I was younger, I would immediately doubt it, because just the people thinking and knowing, they're not in your position when they decide to make a thing about you, like, oh, kid's gonna do this, or if you start smoking weed, you're gonna go all the way to drugs, or if you go out right now at dark, you're gonna get into trouble, and all that. It's like, you don't know, you aren't in my skin, you can't see the way that I have my own ability to go through problems and decide what is right and what is wrong when it comes time. And I'm not always going to pick wrong. And if something seems too dangerous, I'm not going to do it. It just doesn't make sense that way. So why would that, so at least that was the way that I thought when I was younger. And, but now it's sort of like, I understand that everybody has their own views, and it's really their own problems that cause this, and you have to understand that that person has been through the things that they have been through. And it's hard for a person to think that somebody is better than them, because they made these mistakes, say parents or advisors or somebody who just takes the time out of their day to talk to you on the side of the road. And if you listen to them, it sounds like they may be preaching, but really you know that that person made that mistake. And I think it's easier for them to assume that you could make the mistake too, because that's basically saying, well, everybody's like me, so if I did it, then everybody else could do it too. And I think that maybe that doesn't necessarily make them a weaker person, because I know myself, I've been through some stuff, and when I see young guys going down the same path, 14-year-olds smoking cigarettes and stuff like that, I try to put my 2 cents in. And when it comes to that, I don't know if that makes me the same as the people who were preaching to me in the first place, and the same people that I looked down upon and thought, you couldn't possibly know what I'm going through, because I am the only one who's living it and going through it at this time. But I'm kind of ranting, I know, but it's sort of something that strikes me as probably one of the main things that we go through in our lives, is this process of deciding what we're going to listen to and what we're going to rebel against, and what we think is wrong and what we think we know better than, is really probably what forms us the most in our child years. Because there's nothing wrong with mistakes and problems and going through the things that we do. There's nothing wrong with ending up, making a mistake, because you learn from that. It could have been something that if you hadn't made that mistake then and there and learned that lesson that you did, you may have thought, oh, it's okay later, because you don't have that experience of having gone through that trauma and having gone through that consequences. So you may have thought later on in life, oh, I'll go do this, when it could have been a bigger consequence. Usually when you're older, the consequences get deeper and deeper for silly mistakes like that, criminal records and whatnot, but on a smaller scale, just the way that people think, look, and feel about you. There can be consequences in that, and they're formed more and more the more mature you think, because people believe that kids don't have the ability to make their own decisions. And that's really something that strikes me across as odd. But I don't know. Maybe this is just a part of growing up that I'm going through, and even though I'm 20 years old, I still have a lot of growing up to do. I'm still very young, and the world is my apple. So, well, before I go off on a tirade, I'd just like to say, yeah, that's what I thought. And I was wondering if any of you, have thought that, or maybe just think this to yourself. You don't have to answer, because I know I'm not going to get a lot of answers from everybody who thinks about that. But if that's something that you're going through, maybe, you're not the only person who's thinking about it, is basically what I'm trying to say. I hope that this helps a little bit. Just the fact that, what I've said helps you process through the fact that you thought it too. I mean, I'm no way right or wrong. I don't think I'm thinking it better than you, and I don't think I really have anything to offer anybody on that subject. But, it's just my own personal opinion, and I'm willing to talk about it. Some people don't talk about the same things that I do, so there you go. So as far as the videos from now on, moving on to business, I got a few things planned. They're really reliant. Everything depends on if I get money to spend. And I do have some coming in one form or another, but it's the delay and how long it takes and all of that. So until which point that happens, I'm basically just going to be doing this. I can't. I know better than to do the news because I'm a big fan of Philip DeFranco, and I know he's the god of news on YouTube. And I do like to cook sometimes, but there's no way I'm ever gonna do anything that could compare to Epic Mealtime. So I'm trying to. I do talk about a few things, my theories and whatnot on life, and I do think that I intro and introspection and extrospection openly a bit more than most people. I'm able to talk about it more in my feelings because I think that I'm fairly confident in myself, and I don't need to hide anything that I think is a problem in myself. So I'm hoping that this interests you. And, if you think I'm really boring, feel free to drop a comment, call me an asshole, whatever you want. But there you go. This has been I Am Not Godzilla, and I hope as long as I'm committing with this video thing that I'll be able to see you more and more and more. See ya.